Shalom, this is Yahuah's Magnified, and I'm back with another informative video. Today's video is titled OCSE, a separate organizational unit. But before I tackle this subject, as always, I must state for the record, I'm not a lawyer, I do not practice law, and I do not pretend to. All my videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They're all facts and all truth. Nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, guys, let's get to it. Oh yeah, but before I proceed forward, make sure you all hit that like button, guys. And also, if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so you all will be notified when I'm dropping these powerful videos pertaining to child support, okay? So now, as you all can see, we're coming from the Department of Health and Human Services website, all right? And we're dealing with the Office of Child Support Enforcement, okay? Because as the state child support agencies are single and separate units of the state, we also have the O.C.S.E, which is a separate organizational unit of the federal government, okay? And we will prove that without a shadow of a doubt today. So now, as you all can see, again, we're dealing with the Office of Child Support Enforcement. So now, let's stroll down, okay? This is coming from the OCSE's website. This is not my information. I did not put this on here. If you all want to, you all can simply go to the website yourself and study to see if what I'm telling you guys are true. Like I tell you all, don't take my word for it. Don't take anyone else's word for it. Study to show thyself approved, okay? So now, as it states what? OCSE partners, right? Hold on, right here. Partners with the federal, state, tribal, and local governments. Okay? Clear as day. So, in order for the OCSE to partner with the federal government, then the OCSE must be a single and separate organizational unit from the federal government. And it's just that simple, guys, as it states on its own website. Again, OCSE partners with federal, state, tribal, and local governments. All right? But let's proceed further to get more information, to go to different sources to see if it's true. So now let's go to 45 CFR 301.1. Let's go there. Okay, so now, as you all can see, we're coming from Cornell Law School, and we're going to pick this up at 45 CFR subsection 301.1, general definitions, okay? So now, let's scroll down to office, all right? So we're going to office. All right, here we go. Office, right? It says office means the Office of Child Support Enforcement, which is the separate, right, organizational unit within the department. Okay, so again, let's click on office in the definition. It says the same thing. Office means the Office of Child Support Enforcement, which is the separate, right, again, organizational unit within the department. All right, so now let's find out what department they are referring to. Right here. Department means the Department of what? Health and Human Services, guys. So again, the OCSE is a separate organizational unit underneath the Department of Health and Human Services, just like the state child support enforcement agencies. They are separate organizational units underneath the state's program. And it's just that simple, guys. Okay, so now let's go to another code. Let's go to 45 CFR 309.5. Let's go there. Okay, so now, as you all can see, we're coming from 45 CFR subsection 309.5. What definitions apply to this part? So we're going to scroll down to OCSE, okay? Just to see exactly what it states. OCSE, right, refers to the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement. So now, let's click on office. Office. Office means the Office of Child Support Enforcement, which is the what? Separate organizational unit within the department. Okay? So again, the OCSE being a separate organizational unit within the Department of Health and Human Services is no different than the state's agencies being a single and separate organizational unit within the state's agencies. And it's just that simple, guys. Okay? So now, let's go to the Section 8 Manual for Child Support Enforcement. And we're going to read the federal role when pertaining to child support services, okay? Let's go there. Okay, so now we're coming from the Section 8 Child Support Enforcement Program Manual. Let's scroll down to the federal role. Okay, so we can see the federal role in this whole thing. And it states, right here, guys, federal role. The federal statute requires the National Child Support Program to be administered by a separate organizational unit under the control of a person designated by and reporting directly to the Secretary of the United States Department of Health and Human Services, HHS. Presently, this office is known as the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement, OCSE. So again, guys, OCSE is in fact a separate organizational unit underneath the federal government, okay? It's no different, again, than the state agencies being separate organizational units underneath the state. And it's just that simple, guys. So now, let's go to United States Code 42 U.S.C. 652, so we won't get better understanding of the duties of the secretary, okay? Let's go there. Okay, so now, as you all can see, we're coming from 42 U.S. Code, subsection 652, duties of secretary, okay? So now let's pick this up at A. A states establishment of separate organizational unit and its duties, okay? So now let's go over the duties of the separate organizational unit. It states what? The secretary shall establish within the Department of Health and Human Services a separate organizational unit under the direction of a designee of the secretary, who shall report directly to the secretary and who shall, you all can search this code and read the rest if you all want better understanding or more detail about the secretary duties when it established its separate organizational unit known as the Office of Child Support Enforcement. But to further prove that, now let's go to case law. Okay, so we're coming from Corelli versus Hauser, right? At the top. Okay, and also this case took place in the Court of Appeals, 6th Circuit, back in 1991, okay? So let's pick this up at pursuant. It states, pursuant to the requirements of 42 U.S.C. subsection 52, which we just read, right? The Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, Secretary, has established the Office of Child Support Enforcement, OCSE, as a separate unit, right? To carry out the Secretary's responsibilities under Title 4D. Okay? So again, guys, when the statutes and codes say single and separate organizational unit, they're simply saying that the unit is separate from any other agency that's created by that state or by that federal government. That's all, okay? It's not saying that the federal agencies are doing business in the state. No, there are state businesses doing business in the state, okay? It's just that simple. And there are federal agencies doing business in the federal government as well, okay? But federal and state are two separate things, guys. Do not get it confused. Do not let individuals come on YouTube and try to deceive you all and make you all believe that that child support is not a state issue. Child support is its own state issue, okay? That's simply underneath the federal government guidelines. And it's just that simple, guys, okay? So that's all I'm going to do for today. If you all need my help, hit me up in my email at yahuah@gmail.com. Let's get this right wisdom, this right knowledge, and this right understanding. Again, like, share, and subscribe. So with that being said, guys, cop that merch, and I say shalom.